Citywide Blackout to WEMF radio, folks. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. We're going to keep the music thing going now because we are joined. I am very blessed and privileged to be joined by author BJ Knapp. Her book Beside the Music. I think it's kind of like everyone's life story in a way because we've all been there. Some sort of, I don't know, maybe. All right. But first off, BJ, thank you so much for joining me and welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This is great.
Excellent. So the story of this book, Beside the Music, basically kind of follows one woman meeting kind of her like band crush from like the 80s. Tell us a little more about this one.
So basically, it's the story of this woman, Brenda. She has this band crush, like you mentioned, Keith Cutter.
It's such an 80s band name.
Oh, I wanted to put an umlaut over the U so badly, but Microsoft Word would not let me. Frickin' Bill Gates.
Curse you, Microsoft Word. Curse you.
So she had a crush on Keith Cutter, and she writes him a fan letter when she's in her 30s, and she has read his memoir. Mm-hmm. And then one thing leads to another. I don't want to bore you with the details, but one thing leads to another, and then his band ends up moving into her house while they record their big comeback album.
Oh, man.
And the whole story is about what that does to her marriage, and her husband's running for office, and her boss is threatening to fire her, and she has this snooty, meddling mother-in-law who shows up at the worst possible moments.
Oh, jeez.
Like that kid in Better Off Dead who wants his $2.
Yeah. Oh, my God. So it sounds like really no one's backing her play on this one. It seems like, everyone's kind of like against her. Why does she persevere? Is she that much? I don't want to say infatuated, but is she that much infatuated with Keith?
Well, she's infatuated with Keith, but she's infatuated with the idea of helping this band get back on top and being the first one to hear their songs and, being the first one to say, no, that stays and that one goes. And she gets completely swept up in the glamour and completely just falls into it. And her marriage goes by the wayside.
Wow. And as you mentioned, her husband is running for Senate.
Yeah, state Senate, yep.
And so for him, it's probably not the most, it's probably not good for his campaign to have an 80s metal band playing and recording in his house.
Right.
Okay.
And when the fans show up on the front lawn, that...
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. All right. So tell me a bit more about Keith and his band. They were like a big deal back in the day, and now they're kind of falling on like hard times.
Yes. So I originally had a scene in the book because I love 80s metal, and I always think back to this scene of those 80s metal bands that didn't make it. Those one-hit wonders. Where did they go? Like, where the heck is Rat, for example?
I have no idea.
I Googled it. They're still around.
Really?
County fairs. Check them out.
Oh, boy. Oh, jeez. Oh,
hey, and whatever. Take what you can get. But I had this scene in mind where the band gets called into a conference room and they're still wearing their eyeliner and their leather and their big hair is smushed on one side from sleeping it off. Like, you can picture it, right?
Yeah.
And they get told the money's gone.
Wow.
And they freak out.
Yeah, of course.
So then they have to make a decision. Do they all go and get jobs in office cubicles repairing copy machines? Or no. Or do they try to make a go of it? So they decide to make a go of it. And this is an 80s band who has no concept of what it's like to be an act in the time of social media.
Yeah.
I mean, they're used to their ivory tower, and they're used to having everything handled for them.
Yeah, the high life, the big money, the tours, the big buzz, the groupies and whatnot. And that comes to like a crashing halt.
Yes.
Oh, my God. All right. Who was your band crush growing up?
Oh, my gosh. I would say Rush. I adore Rush.
Awesome choice. I like that one. Why Rush? What about them made your band crush?
I think that for three guys, they got a lot going on stage. They make a lot happen for three ridiculously talented individuals.
Nice.
I've read all of Neil Peart's memoirs.
Wow.
Yeah. He's got like five of them. Yeah.
Five memoirs.
Who knew?
He had a really awesome life then. I mean, if it was just so epic that one book couldn't contain it.
Well,
I gotta write four more.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice, nice.
He's got a lot to say.
Very cool. And this, of course, like this reflects back to your character Brenda.
Yes.
You know, she is this like devourer of like the band memoirs. She loves reading them, and then it sounds like she kind of finds Keith's book almost like by accident. She's kind of like looking for like a new one, and she happens to see, wait a minute, Keith Cutter's story.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, she was super into Hydra, the band Hydra. Yep. Hydra.
That is a great example, and I wonder, has that name actually been taken? Did you like look this one up and to see if like there was an actual Hydra band?
You know what? I didn't, but I know that there's some Marvel thing with Hydra. I'm not into Marvel, but there's like...
I could give you a very long explanation on that one, but the short answer is yes.
No.
You don't want to hear the comics explanation?
Maybe tomorrow.
Okay, cool. Fair enough, yes, but there is like a comics thing, but okay, and there isn't an actual band called Hydra. That's surprising.
You know, I don't know. I never looked, honestly.
Well, Hydra Band,
I'm
if
sure
you
there
were
must be.
If you were listening and want to call in and tell us your story, 617-500-7100. So the band Hydra, they kind of set up shop in this like small town. How do they kind of like interact with like the rest of the populace when like you said, they're used to the very like high life, the crazy life?
Well, they don't actually interact with everybody. I mean,
really?
They are in this house. Brenda and Tim are under very strict non-competes. These fans show up somehow know they're there.
Yeah, because they always do.
Yeah. I mean, one little sniff and everybody's there. They are recording in Brenda's friend's basement on the other side of town. So they don't really. They're hiding out. And Keith has to learn how to be likable, because the reason why Keith wrote a memoir was because he was in a drunk driving accident.
Wow.
And he rendered his son paraplegic in the accident.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes on a wicked bender after that. And everybody is like outraged over this thing that happened to him. And that's why he wrote the book. And that's why she'd read it. And she wrote the letter to him.
Huh. Okay. Why is Hydra her like band crush? I mean, like, did she like, get to meet them when they were young? Did they kind of like change her life when she was a kid?
Well, it's kind of the same thing that happened to me the first time I heard Red Rain by Peter Gabriel when I was 12 and I was in 6th grade, and it came on the radio, and I sat up in bed with my mouth hanging open, and I still love the song.
Yeah.
There's a scene of her getting ready for school in junior high, and the song comes in on her clock radio, and she's got eyeliner on one eye, and she's got her mouth hanging open, and her mom comes in like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And it just affected her in such a way. Then she just went and bought everything she could get her hands on. Mm-hmm. Kind of like, the thing that teenage girls do. Like, my friend Sue loved Wham back in like junior high, and her walls were plastered with Wham. I mean, every inch.
Yeah. I know the feeling. I have like a lot of friends who were like big time music nerds, and for them growing up, it was Metallica, definitely. I'm trying to think like the bands they were into. Fear Factory, Pink Floyd, like all like the greats,
Oh yeah,
definitely. So I want to talk a bit about Brenda's husband Tim.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to be kind of the antithesis of Mr. Cutter, and I'm curious. Again, let's try no spoilers, but how do they get along?
They don't.
No, I didn't think so. Because you've got Mr. like clean cut Tim running for Senate. Obviously, public image is very important to him, and he's got like this 80s metal star who I'm sure had a very chaotic life.
And Tim doesn't like it when house guests are like fish; they stink after 3 days.
Oh my God!
And these guys were in the house for a month at least.
Yeah. Oh my God! All right. Okay. My next question for you is the process of writing this book. Did you take a lot of like your own like life experiences and put it into the story, or did you try and make it totally, unique from like what you went through?
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody, it's funny when I tell people what the book is about this 80s metal band that moves into somebody's house, I get asked, "Oh, did that happen to you?"
Yeah.
And it surprises me when a friend asks me that, because it's like, dude, you've been in my house. You would have noticed. But people ask me that all the time. And I like to say that it's based on actual events that never happened.
The what if story.
Yeah, but of course there's a couple of things that are from real life in there. Like Brenda's from East Windsor, Connecticut. So am I. They're like, I was very, very careful to write the mother-in-law as completely nothing like mine at all.
Thank God, right?
Yeah, my mother-in-law is wicked cool. Like this Portia, this mother-in-law is ridiculous. Like she's insane.
Yeah. I think that is the one person you never want to badmouth is mom. The one person you always want to cast in like the most amazing light. If your mom's in the story, she's like the hero of the story or something like that, or you make her so different that they can say, yes, that's definitely not me.
Yes. Absolutely. And you have to do that. And the husband, Tim, is nothing like my amazing husband, Todd. Nothing.
Is he a big music nerd too?
Yeah, in a way. Like we met because he played bass in a band and I used to play guitar and I used to open up for them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I did read something about you. So you've also done your own music growing up, right?
Yep.
Do you still play?
Once in a while. My calluses are completely gone. I mean, I wrote a lot of my own songs. I wrote our wedding song as a surprise for him. He didn't know until we went to do our first dance.
Aww.
And the DJ put the CD. I went into like the recording studio like 2 weeks before the wedding. It took me 3 years to write that song.
Really?
I can't write love songs.
No.
I can't. I'm just not good at it. So it was more of a song about how I'm bad at writing love songs. Which kind of worked, you know?
I like that.
It was funny. We were doing our first dance and the song started and he was like, Beej, what is this? This guy screwed up. What is this? And I said, surprise. So we're like doing like the awkward, like, sway.
The slow dance,
thing,
right? Yeah.
And the junior high, like arm's length thing.
Oh, geez.
And he's like, no, seriously, like, what is this?
Oh my God.
And I'm like, surprise. And then finally my voice started and he's like, oh my God.
Oh, geez. He must have been just like blown away on that one.
Yeah, he was. Because I don't write love songs, so.
Apparently you do, though. in your own way.
Just that
one. All right. So we'll have to wait another like 3 years for another one to come out, right?
And for another song? Well, we've been married 13 years, so.
Okay. Any day now.
Well, it took 5 years to write a novel, so I gotta, maybe I'll make some time. Maybe I'll schedule it in somehow.
Okay. All right, folks. Well, we are going to take ourselves a little break, and then when we come back, we'll be talking more to BJ about our book. And for now, I think this is kind of fitting. We've got the John Butcher Axis Trio playing now. This song's called Sentinel, Citywide Blackout, WEMF Radio. Just, come down. You can meet the authors, buy their books. And the thing is, it's not just one genre. We have authors who do like romance, comedy, horror, action. I'm sure there's some like history there too. Of course, BJ's book is a bit like a slice of life kind of thing. And this, of course, her book is called Beside the Music. And we were talking earlier about the artists and about their sort of like interaction with the area. But you also have a pretty good like musical background yourself. You mentioned before that you've done your own music, and you were also a DJ in college, and I want to hear a little bit about that.
I was at WJMF 88.7, Smithfield, Rhode Island.
Wow. You know what? I gotta quit. I gotta leave right now. You take over the show, okay? I've been beaten. I know when I'm beaten. But how did you get into doing that?
I walked up the stairs and I opened the door. And I said, I want to be a DJ. And they said, all right.
Seriously? That easy?
Yeah, totally. It was, Bryant's was a very small school.
Yep.
And a lot of people, it's a small business school and people are very business minded and very focused.
Actually, my brother went to Bryant.
Oh, yeah?
So I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a very small school. Yeah.
Yeah. And, it was pretty easy to walk on as a freshman and get my own time slot.
Nice. Did you do like music? Did you do like a talk show? What kind of stuff did you do?
I did whatever I felt like doing. I would bring my guitar in sometimes and I'd play, or nice. I would, just do all request all the time, or I would just play whatever I wanted, or I did a few radio contests and stuff like that. Just the normal stuff. Sometimes I would have friends come in and just, we'd banter and.
Cool.
Yeah, it was good.
Excellent. All right. So you mentioned earlier that your book took 5 years to write.
Yeah.
In that time, did you ever hit any points where you had to totally redo the story because it wasn't working, or you found you maybe wrote yourself kind of like into a corner that you didn't want to be in?
Yeah, I mean, that's why the delete key is really awesome.
Recycle bin, away it goes.
I did have a few scenes that I slashed out. Like I mentioned earlier, I had the whole scene where Hydra goes into the conference room and they get told they don't have money, but I couldn't get that to work because doing that would require a multi-person perspective, and I wanted to do a first-person perspective, and then just to randomly slap in these chapters of the band, Brenda was not privy to that stuff, so she couldn't tell the story. Okay. So I kind of had to weave that in as backstory as they talk to the band and stuff like that. But if I kept that multi-perspective thing going, this book would have been 9 hojillion pages long. And ain't nobody got time for that.
Unless you like Tolkien or Martin, I think. That's about it. They're the only ones who have the time for those epic sprawling fantasies.
Yeah, the very first book I wrote, the one that is sitting in a drawer that every author has, was 130,000 words long, literally.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's
crazy talk.
That would take you a couple weekends to work through, I think.
Yeah. This one ended up being I think 89 or 91,000.
Okay.
And that's the sweet spot for a novel.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. Any characters that did not make it to the final version?
Yes.
Okay.
The band had I was trying to think, I'm like, who was that woman? The band had a publicist that was having a power struggle with the band manager, and I just decided that she was just superfluous.
Yeah.
And that was the whole thing where, the chapters from the band's perspective, this publicist would end up in bed with the band manager after she drank too much all the time, and it was just really regrettable for her because she despised him.
Oh yes, we've had those.
So I ended up slashing all of that, and Martha went with them. But I love the name Martha, so in my new book I have a character named Martha. So it's all
Martha
good.
Lives on.
Yes, she does.
She will return. All right. Well, folks, as we often do with our author guests, we ask them to read a portion of their book to give you guys a sort of taste what the story's all about. And BJ has got us a really cool scene there that she's picked out just for this.
Okay.
And what scene is this?
This is the scene where Keith, his writing process involves a lot of vodka and being passed out a lot. And
that seems familiar.
Tim's mother, Portia, the snooty mother-in-law, picture an old money Chanel suits, gigantic sunglasses.
Okay, done.
Yeah, got it?
Got it.
So she comes in and she likes to redecorate Brenda and Tim's house. And doesn't even care if Brenda wants it or not. She comes in and she redecorates it. And so she brings this fancy, television redecorator with her, and she finds Keith passed out on the divan, and she is furious.
All right.
So in this scene, Portia storms in, sees Keith passed out, and starts beating him over the head with her Birkin bag, those really expensive purses, just bashing the heck out of him. And that's where the scene ends up, and Brenda comes in to see what's wrong.
Okay.
So Keith goes outside, and Brenda's looking out the window at the point where I pick up.
Okay.
Oh, Keith, I mutter under my breath. No, 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 no. I knock on the window, but he doesn't look back. Tricia has retreated, a look of horror on her face. Keith staggers to Portia's BMW. She had it specially shipped from Germany. The model is not available in the U.S. She is insanely protective of it. I once touched it, and she immediately pulled out a special microfiber cloth from her purse and meticulously rubbed at where I'd laid my hand. Keith, shoot! No, 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 no! I run out the front door. Portia, confused, stops, looks up from the divan, and follows me out the door. Keith, I yell again, stop! But it's too late. He is bracing himself against the roof of her car. His frayed jeans are around his ankles, and he's letting out a loud, exaggerated sigh of relief. He looks over his shoulder at Portia and sneers. I see the stream of urine splash against the driver's side door of her car. The crowd points, gasps, titters, and laughs. For good measure, he thrusts his hips and traces a loopy pattern of pee down the length of her car. Antonio's jaw drops further. Yeah, buddy, I'd like to see you clean that with goat's milk upholstery cleaner. This has got to be the longest pee I've ever witnessed. The sheer mortification of the moment probably made it feel twice as long. Portia gasps in horror and disgust. For the first time since we met, we agree on something. Without a word, Keith pulls up his pants and zips his fly. He strides up the front walk and pushes past us on his way back into the house. He turns and faces Portia. Hit me with that bag one more time, he hisses at her. I dare you.
Wow. That is brutal. I love it.
Thanks.
Oh my God.
That was a fun scene to write.
Yeah?
Portia was really fun to write. I had this manuscript coach who said, you ought to dial back Portia. She's a little too over the top.
Yeah.
And I said, no.
And that is a very interesting thing because a lot of times I think some writers they'll basically say, okay, any character is a potential victim here. Anyone can be on the cutting room floor. No one's sacred. But you kind of put your foot down with that Portia. You're like, nope, she's got to stay the way she is.
Yeah, because I think she added some abrasion to the scenes. Like she literally turns up at the worst possible moment, and Timothy, the whole jaws clenched and everything.
My.
Oh yeah, totally. And no matter what Brenda does, Brenda cannot do right by this woman.
Yeah.
And Timothy's an only child, and nobody is good for her good enough for her little boy. Sort of a thing.
No.
So yeah, I really wanted her just to be larger than life.
Yep. I'd say you succeeded in that one.
Thank you.
Well, folks, if you're hearing that music, you mean that that means that we are going to be bringing this to a close. BJ, this has been great talking to you. I really appreciate this.
Oh, you too. This was a lot of fun. And guys, don't forget to come out to the Rhode Island Authors Expo. It is December 3rd. That's a Saturday. It's at the Rhodes on the Patuxent in Cranston, Rhode Island. It's a really big event space, tons of parking. Not like here in Cambridge, tons of parking.
Hey! Okay, true. Fair enough.
It's from 11 to 5. We literally have a couple of hundred of local authors. Think of Christmas and holiday shopping, guys. Like, if you have book lovers on your list and you want something unique that they're never going to get, totally hit up the Authors Expo. It'll be amazing.
And come in and see us, okay? Sit at Blackout. WEMF Radio will be there. We'll be live broadcasting the whole time, 6 hours. God, what am I getting myself into? It's going to be a lot of fun, though. We'll be on, I believe, on the second floor. We're going to have 2 tables. So come there and say hi to us, and then say hi to all the wonderful authors. And BJ, where do folks go to learn more about you and get your book?
My website is bjknapp.com. That's Knapp. I got a lot of silent letters. I'm also on Facebook, BJ Knapp the author. And my book is available on Amazon. It's at Barnes & Noble. It's pretty much everywhere online. It's called Beside the Music. But definitely, Amazon's the most popular spot. So just search on Amazon and Beside the Music, and you'll find me.
All right. Last question before we go. Do you prefer to read in print or on an e-device?
I read everything on an e-device.
Wow. You are one of the few, actually. Most people are very diehard print defenders. But you are like one of the few. But I like that.
My iPad has pretty much saved my marriage because I read a book a week.
Yeah.
And if I can't sleep, I wake up in the middle of the night and I want to read, but I don't want to wake him up.
Yes.
So It's been actually quite great for that. And I travel a lot, so I don't want to bring a stack of books with me.
Yeah, that's a problem.
iPad.
Yeah. I have a Kindle, and I got to say, it's pretty awesome because I can have 17 books, 10 or 12 comics and whatnot. So I am well situated because I usually will I'll go on some long trips to Philly and whatnot. That's like a 7-hour bus ride. So a Kindle is amazing for something like that.
Well, on a 2-week sailing trip last year, I read 7 books in 2 weeks. I'm so not kidding.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
it's a record setting, I think.
And I would have had to bring a stack with me,
it's big. Instead, little device, and you're good to go.
This is what I'm saying.
Excellent. Folks, we are going to take one more break, and then when we come back, we'll be joined by everyone's hero. He's a cosplay artist out of Connecticut. He's got some amazing costumes. He makes his own props, everything. You can actually catch him this coming weekend at Rhode Island Comic Con. In the meantime, we've got a song for you, an oldie but a goodie from Madelon. This one's called Photograph. Citywide Blackout, WEMF Radio.